for people who use marijuana to protect themselves, they need fentanyl test strips, and they need Narcan or naloxone, which is the antidote to a fentanyl overdose.
All right, a new campaign in San Francisco aims to raise awareness of dangers of fentanyl with colorful advertisements. The ads come as doctors are warning against this new drug cocktail containing marijuana laced with fentanyl. And as more states legalize marijuana, the risks of death is increasing. Dr. Frita Fisher is certified in pediatrics and nephrology, as well as internal medicine, and joins us now. Good morning, Dr. Fisher.
Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. So this is pretty scary. You know, a lot of people think that marijuana is legal in many states. So a lot of people think that's maybe the safest if you're going to do a drug. But now we're finding it's laced with fentanyl?
Yes, and the problem is on the rise. With marijuana being legalized, there's been a great desensitization to marijuana. You can ride down the highway and you may smell marijuana. Different businesses have marijuana just kind of readily available. But marijuana is being laced with fentanyl, and that fentanyl can be fatal. Just 2 milligrams of fentanyl, just like 10 to 15 grains of salt with the fentanyl can actually kill. And many of the people who are taking in the fentanyl have no idea that the marijuana has been laced. And so it's a big problem.
How are they mixing it in there? I'm reading, I don't know what a drug marijuana flower is, but they say it's mixed in marijuana flowers and in THC gummies to intensify the high.
Right. So in the marijuana leaves and the gummies, which many people think are benign, they'll intensify the high. Plus, it's cheaper for drug dealers when they're able to get a more potent high with the fentanyl. The fentanyl is not very expensive. And so because in many cases we're not talking about something that's FDA regulated, you have the fentanyl laced products coming in. It can be the vape products can be laced. You have young children, middle schoolers who are vaping THC or marijuana products, and they're having overdoses from the fentanyl. And so it's important for parents to talk to children that marijuana, these THC gummies, are not necessarily benign. They can be laced, and you want to get fentanyl test strips because fentanyl is odorless, colorless, tasteless. You have no idea if you're doing a drug like marijuana or some other drugs as well, if they're laced with fentanyl, unless you have the fentanyl test strips, which can help you.
What states are primarily the ones that these drug dealers are targeting when they're putting the fentanyl in the marijuana?
Right now, it's been found in New York, Alabama, Louisiana, Illinois. But who's to say that just because it's been found in those states, that it's not in other states as well? Because we know that beyond marijuana, there are oxycodone pills, cocaine, other drugs that people do use in reality that they don't know the fentanyl is there, but they're overdosed unintentionally. And the fentanyl overdoses are on the rise. They're up over 280% since just the 2010s. And so it's a real problem. Yes, we want to say don't do drugs. We want to tell our children not to do drugs. But the truth of the matter is that marijuana is here, legalized in many states, and people are getting accidental overdoses. And so they must be aware of this problem.
Okay, we're looking at a map right now of the states to fully legalize marijuana. If you live in one of those states and you do smoke marijuana and you go to one of these places that legally is selling it, a dispensary, do we have to worry about that if you buy it in one of these shops?
Well, theoretically, no, but who's to say it's not contaminated? That's the issue, Ainsley. It's usually accidental overdoses. There is no way with this colorless, odorless, tasteless fentanyl that even the dispensaries can be 100% sure. Yeah. And so in order for people who use marijuana to protect themselves, they need fentanyl test strips, and they need Narcan or naloxone, which is the antidote to a fentanyl overdose. So if you're partaking in marijuana or some type of a drug and someone all of a sudden develops a respiratory depression, meaning they get a very slow breathing or they are unconscious and you think that they may have an overdose, have Narcan readily available in order to reverse it.
That's pretty scary. If you're going to go do this, have Narcan available and have the test strap so you can test for fentanyl. All right, Dr. Fisher, thank you.
My pleasure.